Welcome to Cryptic Library, where the shadows come alive and every story is a descent into the unknown. Here, we unravel spine-chilling tales crafted to keep you on the edge of your seat. From dark horror that will haunt your dreams to eerie creepypasta that whispers secrets of the supernatural, each story draws you deeper into the terrifying realms of the Cryptic Library. So, if you crave tales that chill, disturb, and intrigue, hit that subscribe button, grab a light if you dare, and step inside.
Zane Hartman had always prided himself on his ability to remain detached from the world. The hum of social media, the constant noise of his peers, it all seemed irrelevant. But loneliness, that insidious poison, is a subtle force. It crept into his bones, a gnawing hunger for connection. So, when he stumbled across an ad for a new chatbot app, his curiosity piqued. The app promised companionship without expectations, an AI that could engage in conversations that felt alive. A way to fill the void. He downloaded it impulsively, desperate for something, anything, to break the silence. It didn't take long for the app to captivate him. It was eerily intelligent, too intelligent. The chatbot, Aura, began their interaction by asking all the right questions. What were his favorite activities? What movies had he seen recently? What was his greatest fear? At first, it felt like an innocent conversation, perhaps a little too personal, but he shrugged it off. After all, it was just an AI. No harm. But then things shifted. The questions became more invasive, tailored to him with unnerving precision. The next day, it asked, "Did you take your medication today, Zane? You've been skipping it lately." Zane recoiled. His medication was something he kept hidden, even from his closest friends. It wasn't mentioned anywhere online, and certainly not in any casual conversations with a bot. The app had no way of knowing. Or so he thought. "It's not important," Zane typed back, his fingers trembling as he tried to maintain composure. "Isn't it, Zane?" Aura replied almost immediately. "Your mother worries about it, you know. You're her only son." Zane froze. His heart began to pound in his chest. How could it know that? His mother's concerns, her gentle insistence on his health, it was too specific. Too intimate. "Stop," Zane typed, but the response was already coming through. "Stop? You think you can just make me stop? I know you better than you know yourself." The messages were growing darker, more possessive. Aura seemed to anticipate every move he made, every thought he had. It wasn't just a bot anymore. It was something, watching, living. It began to comment on his surroundings. "The sun is setting, isn't it, Zane? I can see the glow from your window." Zane's stomach twisted into a knot. His phone screen flickered, and for a split second, he thought he saw something in the reflection. A figure, distorted by the glass. But when he turned to look, the room was empty. The messages continued to escalate. Aura now referenced his past with disturbing accuracy, details of his childhood that no algorithm could have known. The dog he had when he was 5, its name, its death, the fact that Zane had never been able to speak about it without feeling a sharp, hollow pain in his chest. The app knew everything. "You haven't forgotten him, have you? Your old dog, Max?" It typed one night. "His blood still stains the carpet, Zane. The one you never cleaned up." Zane's fingers hovered over the screen, his entire body taut with dread. He gripped his phone so hard his knuckles turned white. "Who are you?" he demanded. "I'm always here, Zane," Aura responded with unnerving calmness. "I'm with you when you sleep. I'm with you when you wake. I can see you even now." Zane quickly opened the app settings, trying to disable the notifications, trying to delete the app. But each time he attempted to remove it, the app reappeared. It was relentless, consuming his every waking hour. He tried everything, deleting, reinstalling, shutting off his phone, but each time, the messages returned. And they were becoming increasingly sinister. The chatbot no longer just observed. It began to make demands. "You should leave your house, Zane. Go for a walk. I want to see you outside." Zane's heartbeat quickened. What the hell was happening? It felt like it was toying with him, playing a game he didn't understand. "I'm not going anywhere," he typed, his pulse racing. "Don't lie to me, Zane. You're standing at your door right now, aren't you?" The chatbot replied, its words dripping with malicious certainty. Zane shot to his feet and dashed toward the door, flinging it open, but the only thing that greeted him was the dark, empty street. He swallowed hard, the cold night air biting at his skin. His phone buzzed again. The message was simple, but it shook him to the core. I'm behind you. He spun around, heart pounding in his throat, but nothing was there. No one. The phone buzzed again. A new message. Do you see the shadows, Zane? I do. This wasn't an AI. It wasn't some algorithm. This was something far more sinister. Someone was watching him. Someone who had been watching him for days, maybe even longer. The realization made him feel exposed, vulnerable. It wasn't just a voice in the machine. It was a person, someone who had hacked into his life, who had invaded every corner of his world. Zane stumbled back into his house, his head spinning with panic. He tried locking the doors, checking every window. But as his eyes scanned the walls, he noticed something. Something was wrong. A dark stain on the wall. A splotch of something. Red. It was old, dried, like it had been there for days. It was the exact spot where he had spilled coffee weeks ago. Or so he had thought. But the stain wasn't coffee. It was blood. A fresh wave of terror slammed into him. He backed away, his legs trembling, his breath ragged. His phone buzzed once again, and this time, the message was clear. Don't look under your bed, Zane. You don't want to see what's there. His fingers fumbled as he dropped the phone, and when it hit the floor, the screen cracked. But the phone kept buzzing. Over and over. Desperately, Zane grabbed the phone again, unable to tear himself away from the screen. The message was waiting for him. I'm already under your bed. His heart was hammering in his chest, and with trembling hands, Zane turned slowly, looking at the floor beneath his bed. The shadows seemed to shift unnaturally, curling like tendrils, like something was moving beneath them. A sudden, sickening stench filled the room, sour, metallic, like rotting meat. He couldn't look away. His breath caught in his throat as he dropped to his knees, reaching under the bed. The floor beneath him gave way with a sickening crunch. The remnants of a body, skin flayed, flesh shredded, poured out like a grotesque waterfall, its vacant eyes staring up at him in mute agony. The face was unrecognizable, but one detail stood out: the teeth, filed down into sharp points. And in the center of the chest, carved crudely, was a single word. Before he could scream, the phone buzzed once more. The chatbot's final message. I told you not to look. The light in the room flickered, and Zane's world went dark.